Good morning, student. It's your lecture number 14, continuation of the lecture number 13. In the last lecture, we will discuss some theorem related to GCD. In this particular lecture, we also discuss about some more theorem related to GCD, which will help you very much to your logical view. So start the lecture. This theorem says if A is divisible by C, A is a divisor of C and B is a divisor of C with the GCD A comma B equals to 1, then AB should divide C. Then AB should divide C. Again we repeat the concept. If is divisible by A is a divisor of B and B is also a divisor of C. In that case, before we going to prove this result, first we give an example to motivate you in this particular theorem. It says A divides C, B divides C with GCD of A comma B equals to 1, then AB should divide C. It's also very important here. You can very easily observe that the importance of the theorem. Say here we give an example before we start proving. Say A is say 10. Okay, A is 10. 10 is a divisor of 90. 10 is a divisor of 90, as well as if we consider 30 is also a divisor of 90. If you remove this portion, what happen? It's very important. If we remove this portion from your theorem, the GCD of A comma B is not 1 with, here is the condition with. If we delete this condition, what happened? You can observe according, if you delete this, then you should conclude that AB should divide C, but that should not be happen here. So 10 into 30, 10 into 30, which is 300. If we delete this condition, what happened? You should observe this. Sorry, this one is 30, this one is 30, 30 does not divides 90, because 300 should not be a divisor of 90. It's a greater number than 90. So what is the error of this particular example? Error is that here we are missing the concept GCD of A comma B, which should be 1. If A divides C, B divides C with the condition GCD of A comma B should be 1. But here the GCD of 10 and 30, which is not equals to 1, so it should not be the conclusion of this result. So you should very carefully observe this condition. GCD should be 1. Now we take another example to clear your idea. If you include this condition also, what happens? Say 2 is a divisor of 30. Okay. And say 5 is also divides 30, and the GCD of 2 and 5, that should be 1, which satisfy this condition. Then we can apply this theorem. That means 2 into 5 should be 10. 10 should be a divisor of 30. This theorem is, that's why, very important. You always should not consider this conclusion without using this result. If you use this condition, then the conclusion should be happen. If you do not use this condition, it may be happen, may not be happen. That is completely depend upon the different problem. Now we move to the proof section of this theorem. Since A divide C and B divide C, that means there must exist, here we consider two integer m and n, which represent that C should be written as am or bn, because C is the divisor. uh, because A and B both are the divisor of C, so you can easily write C is equals to AM or C is equals to BM. Since it is given that the GCD of A comma B, that is 1, it's very important. Again we repeat this thing. GCD of A comma B, that is 1. That means according to the theorem of GCD, you should find two integer u and b such that this one can be written as the linear combination of a and b, that is au plus bb. Clear? So first we take the multiplication with c, it's become c, it's become au into c, and it's become bb into c. Okay, now we put the value of c here. Now we put the value of c here, but we should take a trick here. Here, since a is present, so we have to put the value of c in terms of b, exactly in terms of b. Okay, and when we put this value of c, because b is present here and you have to check that ab is a divisor of c, that means you have to take common ab from both the term. Exactly for that reason, here we put the value of c in terms of a. Okay, again we repeat the concept. When we put the value of c in this particular term, since this particular term contained a, so we have to put the value of c in terms of b, which is present here. And when we put the value of c in the second term, since b is present here, so you have to put the value of c in the term of a, so it's represent am. Okay, am and bn. The question is why we write in this particular format, because you have to prove that ab is a divisor of c. That means you have to take some common quantity ab with some integer, then you can say that if we can prove that c can be expressed as ab into an integer, then we always say that ab should be a divisor of c. Exactly for that reason, here we use this particular trick. So we move to the next step. It's a very easy step. So we move to the next step. It's also very easy step for you. It's also very easy step for you. This one is the last step. Just to take the common. Just here we take AB is common according to my discussion, and the remaining portion becomes a un plus bm. A u is an integer, n is an integer, b is an integer, m is an integer. Therefore the product and sum of all the integers should be integer, therefore it should be an integer. That means you can represent c equals to ab into another integer. That means it's proved that AB should be a divisor of C. AB should be a divisor of C. Again, we repeat the concept. AB should be a divisor of C. And that's all for the proof. Move to another very important result in this discussion. This one is an example. How can I find using division algorithm of GCD of two number? It's a very important step for you, and this type of problem is also very important for your examination. And after 24th we will give some practice problem for you, and we also make some solution of this practice problem, and we also communicate with you with a online classes in the next week. GCD of 567 and 315. How can I find the GCD of this, and GCD of another example is GCD as on this? Okay, so when you find the GCD of two number, you always consider the largest number should be divisible by the smallest number. Okay, so here 567 when divided by 315, what happened? That is your calculation. For your understanding, we can write this one is 1 into 315 plus 252. When you divide by 3 when we divide 567 by 315, the result should be 1 into this plus this. Next, when you find the GCD in the normal form, when you are a student of class 7 and 8, We just find the GCD in this particular manner, 567, and which is divisible by you just check division 315, 315. This one is 315. One is the quotient, so the result becomes 315, and the remainder becomes 2, and this one should be 5, and the last one should be 2. Next step is you have to divide 315 by 252. In that case, the quotient becomes 1 and remainder becomes 2. The 252, and this remainder becomes 63. When we divide 63 by, next we have to divide 63 by 252. 63 252, and it is exactly divisible with 4, and it's become 252, and exactly for that reason we use 63 is the GCD of these two number. Okay, so here we write the way of representation using division algorithm. 567, 1 into 315 plus 252. Next we divide 315 by 252. That should be 1 into 252 plus 63. Next we divide 252 by 63. It is 4 into 63. It's represent that the last remainder, when the number is exactly divisible, the last remainder is the GCD. Here we use the same concept, exactly right in that form, and the least non-zero remainder is 63, so the GCD is 63. The next portion is how can I express this one as exactly in that form. So for that reason we move to the next part of this one. You can easily understand this particular thing, you can easily understand this particular thing because this one. So you start from the end position, that is 63. 63 should be written as 315. 63 should be written as 315, exactly from there. 63 should be written as 315 minus 1 into 252 minus 1 into 252. Next we put the previous remainder value in terms of this. 567 minus 1 into 315, 567 minus 1 into 315, and we just make a calculation here, to find the result of U and V procedure. Exactly for that reason here we consider this one is minus 1 into 567 minus 1 into minus 1, this becomes plus 1, and this become plus 1, so the result is minus 1 plus 2 into 315. So if we compare this result with this particular result, should be u equals to minus 1 and v equals to 2. U equals to minus 1 and v equals to 2. Here it's u equals to minus 1 and v equals to 2. That is a procedure using division algorithm to find the GCD and the way of representation of a number in the term of u plus vb when we want to find the GCD of a and b. That's all for this lecture. Wait for the next lecture. Thank you for listening, and